Welcome back to State of Decay 2 and the Lion's Share. The reason I'm back with the Lion's Share right now in the middle of everything else is because there's this one bounty that only they can get. I need to kill 2 Plague Hearts with bladed weapons. And the problem is, I'm out of Plague Hearts in my other communities. So it's going to be the Lion's Share that tackles it. So this is Hash. Hash is one of my least interesting characters, actually. He's just a busybody who learned some chemistry. But he's also a swordsman, and he's got a lovely ice axe, and so we're going to take him and his ice axe.
Okay, I'm out.
Oh, there's a bunch of scary zombies around here. We're just going to avoid all of them. Let's have a look at our vehicles. You know what? Let's repair the Vandito. I like the Vandito. I'm not talking to Vanessa. I'm sorry, Vanessa. Vanessa, I've got better stuff to do. And then, oh yeah, this needs gas too. So we'll refuel it. So, La Coalición has got a question that I feel like I answered earlier. But you might have been away from your machine or something when I answered it. Oh, wait, I need to figure out. Oh, crap. Wait a minute. Okay. I'm going to... Okay, those ferals are actually really useful. If I can get a crossbow, I can and kill those ferals with a crossbow, I'll be able to knock out the last bounty on my list there. But I'm not doing that right now. I don't have a crossbow. I am loaded for Plague Hearts. But yeah, so La Coalición wants to know how come there are no military Plague Zeds.
Can't be far away. I think I smell it.
And I do believe I answered that in a previous episode, but you might have missed it. But the answer is basically because each new type of zombie that we put in the game is counted against a very tight memory budget. The game basically has to keep track of all of those zombies and all of their attributes and their art and their, behaviors and their animations and all that stuff. Everything about a zombie that makes it a unique zombie is expensive. And you'll notice that when you change your difficulty level, we, for instance, swap out all of the screamers for plague screamers. And we swap out all of the ferals for blood ferals. And we swap out all of the bloaters for plague bloaters. And there's a reason for that. It's not just because we want it to be harder all the time. We had actually discussed the possibility of creating a ramp where you start, like maybe less frequently you get, regular, all the time you get, regular screamers, and then occasionally you get a blood screamer. And we talked about doing it that way. The problem was we couldn't actually keep a blood screamer and a regular screamer loaded at the same time, which is what you need to do. You need to keep them sort of, the idea of those things available to the game all at once. And so, oh, hey, you get away from me. And so we basically, you notice that that's the reason why the whole game basically has to reset when you change your combat difficulty. It's because, why can I not find the frickin' Plague Heart? Is it in this middle room? Yes, of course it is. Okay. It's such close quarters. I'm gonna do its, whoa, no. I'm gonna do its health tiers one at a time. Okay, everybody's out, maybe? I don't know. I think they're probably out of that room anyway. Oh, get off me! Dang it! Oh, you know what I didn't bring? Okay, I didn't bring cures with me. That could potentially be a problem. Okay, there's another health tier. Now, let's see if I get a bunch of them following me out here. So that without burning the Plague Heart, I can burn some of these zombies off. There's so freaking many of these zombies. Because the last tier of this Plague Heart I've got to take down with just my blade. And that's going to be a problem. Anyway, so yeah, and so basically if we were to create a plague military zombie, which would be, a zombie that is a plague zombie, but it also has the armor of an armored zombie. There we go. That would be a distinct type of zombie. It would be a new one that we would have to add. It would take a slot away from our freaks or away from other things that are really important. And so we can't do that, basically. We know what we've kind of established what our memory budgets are. We got to stick to them, and that's a limit that we can't cross. So that's why they would have to be a distinct kind of zombie, and we just can't afford to do that. Now, we could potentially swap all of them out so that every military zombie is a plague zombie under certain conditions. Oh, that's not my car. Where's my car? There's my car. That's conceivably possible. But then you've got the problem of, we've got rules about where plague zombies appear, right? And where military zombies appear. Military zombies appear near military sites, and plague zombies appear near plague hearts. And so if we switched it out so that you had military plague zombies, those zombies could only appear in places that follow both of those rules. They would only appear in places that are military themed and that have a plague heart nearby. Or they'd be like summoned by a plague heart. But you'd actually see less of them, I think, if we swapped them out. And so I think it's not a thing that would be in a position to do. So in theory, there's nothing wrong with having them. Like there's nothing, there's not a design reason why we shouldn't have those. But yeah, there's just technical reasons why we sort of made that sacrifice and decided not to do it. Oh, La Coalición asks, how hard would it be to add a vehicle health bar? So I'm going to become... Okay, I'm Austin Powers into this spot. Anyway. So I am going to get less and less effective at answering, specific questions about State of Decay 2. But the reason a vehicle health bar would be challenging is because our vehicle health is actually very, very complicated. Like, we actually track the health of individual components of the vehicle. Its engine, its body generally, but also its individual doors and very, the hood, whatever, stuff like that. It's tracked in a lot of different places. And if we just sort of aggregated that into a single bar, it might give you a misleading sense of the state of your vehicle. Your engine could be almost destroyed, which means the vehicle's about to catch fire. But the rest of the body might be fine, so you might have a health bar that's high, but your vehicle's flaming, or a health bar that's low and the vehicle's not flaming, and it would be confusing. I think that what we would need to have, if we wanted to show you your vehicle's health, we might actually need to have a more complex health bar, maybe like the one in the original Deus Ex that actually shows sort of a diagram of the body of your vehicle and tells you the health of each part of it. All right. No. There's already zombies in here. Okay. I'm always the worst at finding the plague heart. Seriously. It's in here, right? No, is it not? Oh, am I in the wrong freaking building? I might be in the wrong freaking building. Right? Is it next? It's next door. Okay, well, all of you stay in there. That's fine. We'll go over here, where the actual plague heart is. Okay. Where? Oh, stop it. All right. It's probably in that tiny room, isn't it? Yes, there it is. Oh no, I hear a feral. Where's Mr. Feral? I can hear him. Where is he? Where is he? Is he behind the door? Okay, let's kill as many of those zombies as we can. Maybe they'll actually free up Mr. Feral to come after me. Dang it. Okay, it's way too many of you. Okay, hold on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Die, 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 die. Die, die, die. Come on! There we go. Too many regular zombies in here. Okay, come on. Oh, what? Stop it! Hey. Getting out of here. All right, all right, all right. Did I succeed? Oh, it looks like I did. Yeah, my bounties. I got my bounties. Nice. I was just like so distracted. Could not tell that I got the bounties, but yeah, bounties are got. Bounty get. Excellent. I've fallen way behind. Okay, hold on. Hey, chat. How are you doing, chat? You having a good time? Let's just set up, let's get a nice little vista to set this guy up with. Oh, look at it. Oh, yeah, look at those clouds and those mountains, man. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah. Hash. Got heroic Hash right here. Killing the plague hearts. Okay, we're going to leave that right there while I catch up with the chat. Okay, so yeah, the Coalition suggests that if we maybe just did a health bar just for the engine, that might actually, because that's the important part, right? The engine is the part that catches fire, that blows up your car. So if we just did health bar for the engine, and we just label it engine health, that's a great idea. I'm going to write that down. Engine health bar. Done. Okay. Not done, obviously. I have no idea if they're going to do it. I mean, it's another team. They set their own priorities, but there you go. Oh, so Peroxicus makes a suggestion. What if we added an electric vehicle to the game that had that was much quieter? So yes, that actually was in our original plan. We intended to have electric vehicles in the game. And you think about it, it makes perfect sense, right? One of the costs of driving a vehicle is the fact that it's extremely loud. And when you're driving around, you just attract all the zombie attention in the world. And so if you got yourself an electric vehicle, it can be really quiet. But the process for refueling an electric vehicle would be more complex because you couldn't just do it right up front. You would have to have a generator. You'd have to do something. Basically, you could only sort of gas it up back at the base. It would be really easy to just go to sort of get stranded. There were a lot of things that, like, you know, there were a lot of ideas we had for like what it would be like to manage an electric vehicle that are beyond, like, we would have to implement a bunch of features that we never implemented in order for them to really, really work well. But we liked that idea of there being a trade-off like that, where, I hope you can hear these zombies trying to kill me in the background, by the way. We love the idea of having a trade-off like that, where you know, it doesn't cost fuel and it's quiet, but there's other reasons why it's difficult to manage. The main obstacle was the fact that, aside from the fact that, you know, all of the mechanics we need to build around, like, managing, you know, refueling the electric vehicle would be complicated. It would be new features we'd have to do. That was one reason not to do it, because, you know, we came kind of down to the wire when it was time for release. But also, the audio would work completely differently. It's not just the question of being quieter. Like, the way that it sounds when an electric vehicle is sort of spinning up and getting faster and faster, it's just... It works differently in ways that I don't fully understand. I am not a gearhead, but in ways that that I don't understand, it actually functions in a different way. That means the audio team would need to have an entirely different approach to the way the engine sounds as you're revving it up and moving around. And so we just did, between, you know, the other complicated features for refueling it and the complicated, you know, needing to implement audio an entirely separate time for a tiny subset of the vehicles, meant that electric vehicles felt very cuttable. Because, you know, it would save us a bunch of work. Not only would it save us some content to avoid putting those vehicles in, it would also save us some entire mechanics, avoiding putting those vehicles in. So there you go. But it is a great idea. I think design-wise, there's absolutely no reason not to do it. There's a lot of really clever, potentially cool stuff you could do with a feature like that. So it's a great idea. I support it. Technically, it's just like the last thing with Plague Armored Zombies. It's like... Totally, yeah, that's a great idea. There were technical reasons why we couldn't do it, at least at the time. Oh, so Radicor points out, if there were 2 or more places where a Plague Heart could spawn within a given building, and the game just always picked one, then that could make it a little bit more interesting to try to find the Plague Heart. Rather than, I mean, I make it interesting because I forget where the Plague Heart is. So, you know, like, I don't need that feature. But for people who have better memories than mine, absolutely, that could be cool. And that is something that we think about sometimes. It's like, you know, is there a way to take stuff like this and make it more interesting by just putting subtle differences in that the game can sort of change between. Again, there's not a strong reason why that would be impossible. It would just be a feature to implement. And so the question would just be, is it more valuable than something else? Something that might be a little bit more noticeable, a little bit more flashy. When you're in sort of post-release update territory, sometimes, it's the flashy features that sort of get your attention, because you're like, we want people to be excited about the game. We want an update to feel exciting. And so it's easier to focus on things that actually, like, add a new thing to the game, rather than things that sort of make a subtle improvement that you might not even notice, especially if you're a new player who's only playing through everything once. You don't know that there was variability in where the play cards were. So that's a long tail sort of feature. Let's see here. Cosmic says, I was playing GTA and I almost ran over an NPC because I thought I was playing State of Decay. You can also run over human beings in Grand Theft Auto. But yeah, no, I see the point you're making. Let's see here. So La Coalición is responding to Mr. Xbox Series S, and I forgot what he said. Oh, he's talking about zombie bears and zombie wolves, the idea of having zombie animals in the game. Yeah, so, people have seen the State of Decay 3 trailer, which I will not be commenting in detail on. Notice that we put a zombie deer in that trailer. And so, yeah, so we've sort of opened that door for zombie animals now. We resisted them for a really long time, for lots of reasons. But we've apparently opened that door now, so who knows what the future could hold. Let's see here. What else have I missed? So we got folks talking about DayZ, and somebody said that they always either starve to death or get sick to death in that game. Yeah, so I would just basically run around and not know what I was doing and then die, and so that's why I did get into DayZ. I don't have the patience really to sort of really learn. I believe that people who are really into that game, there's a reason. The game has got some really cool stuff in it to discover. I didn't discover it in the time that I played it, so it's not for me, but that's totally fine. I'm allowed to, we're all allowed to have our different tastes in video games. Yeah, so Comsbolt suggested, why not put like a facility mod that we can install in a parking spot, and then make that parking spot automatically recharge electric vehicles. That's exactly what we would have done. You basically nailed it on the head. We were also going to have refueling stations that automatically refueled vehicles that you parked at certain spots. You get to decide which upgrade you wanted on which parking spot. That's one of the reasons why the parking spots are all sort of like separate facilities, basically, because we intended to do things like that with them that we never ended up getting to do. Oh, yeah, so Zedric says that Auto Shop should have a level 2 that passively repairs cars. That's an interesting idea. Okay, so Coalición's got another wish list question. So I'm going to read this question, and then I'm going to hop down here. Oh, let's definitely kill this feral. Oh, actually, I shouldn't be in full auto anymore. All right, anyway, I'm going to read this question, and I'm going to hop down, and we're going to start traveling home. He says, suggests adding a gray icon to indicate something that was left in a house. Okay, let's have a look at I assume you're talking about on the map here. So let's have a look at the UI up here. So you're saying, okay, site may contain materials, fuel, and we got containers that haven't been searched yet. And you're suggesting that we include gray icons on this display to show like that you've left something behind in a container, something like that. I think part of the problem is like a lot of the things okay, so you're saying like if you found the fuel but you haven't picked it up yet, we should show that fact on the screen. Something like that. Okay, so I think so. Right now, if you find it, do we just knock it out? Like let's head over here before we go home. Let's head over to this site and look for some materials and fuel and see exactly how this plays out. Because I don't actually have it in my head right now. Because I don't pay that much attention to the subtle changes in the UI that happen as you're step by step scavenging a place. So how does one get in here? Okay, here we go. Oh, crap. Take that. Take this and this. Whoa! I don't think you don't see that particular animation that often. Was that just a regular non-stealth standing kill from behind with a blade? I think it was. Wow. Okay. I literally never see that animation.
Shambling corpse to be seen.
Coalición is like ice axe power. Okay, so where do we think they will have stored? Probably maybe these shelves over here. Okay, so right now it shows site may contain materials and fuel. Let's search in here. Okay, so now we search one container. There's nothing. Search another container. Okay, so it's got a gardening toolkit. That's nice. Some random stuff. And so it shows I've searched 2 containers.
It's useful, I guess.
More stuff I don't need. Search 3 containers. Still has the resources listed. Let's look in here. Okay, so now I found the fuel. Put that rucksack on. It still shows that it might contain... Wait, why did I put that on? I was supposed to leave it in there to see what happens. Oh, we're going to have to do this again. Hold on. So I've just got my habits, right? Of just, like, grabbing every rucksack I see. I need to leave a rucksack in there. So, well, we'll drop this off. We'll drop off other things that don't stack. Or that I'm unlikely to find more of. Or that I already have a stack of. All right. Well, there might still be materials. Let's, and I saw like one of those tables that probably has materials in it. So let's go look at it again. Let's look in here. Okay. I found these materials, but I am not picking them up. I'm also not picking up those electronics. And so now, find this. Grab those. Okay, so now it says remaining resources... materials. And does it say that here too? It shows remaining resources, materials. So what is it that we're missing here? Like what do you want to see in the UI, La Coalición, that you don't already have? Beardride says, I don't have these issues. I just loot everything. I think that what happens is people who have already looted a ton, they'll go out looting, but they'll be like, I don't have any space for this back at home, so they'll try to leave it alone and not bring it back if it's just going to be lost because of storage limits. But yeah, I had actually forgotten that we included remaining resources. Like for me as a player, I don't worry about this stuff very often. I don't leave things behind, and even if I did leave something behind, I wouldn't be that worried about it. And so this was never a priority for me, but there were other people on the team who were like, we have to show the player all this information. And so I was like, okay, fine. And we went with it. And so one of the things that, I think our UX designers were really into making sure that we showed this information. So yeah, so I'm not sure what La Coalición is looking for because I feel like, I mean, it's not telling me that I've left a greeting card and circuitry behind. There's no information telling me about that. It's only telling me about the rucksack. And then if I grab the rucksack, if I grab that, it still says the rucksack's available. I grab the rucksack, and now there's a note left behind, but there's nothing. Now it's gone black. So, to me, in my mind, I feel like that works. I'm not sure what more information the player needs than what we're giving them right there. But La Coalición is not responding, so I think maybe he may have dropped the stream. So I can't get any clarification from him on what he meant by that. Because it could be that I'm missing something. It could be that there's actually some particular thing that Coalición is looking for that I don't quite understand. Oh, there's nothing in here. This is not a real site. This is a site. I've got a little bit of room left in the Vandita, so I figure might as well search the next nearby place. Oh yeah, more materials that I'm not going to use. Oh, whoops. Can't carry any of this. What's in here? Okay, I'm going to come back for that. Okay, so Cog says that he suspects that what Coalición wants, and it looks like Coalición has confirmed this, is things that are not a rucksack. Like, he basically wants to see that I've left a note behind. And that makes sense. I'm gonna run over here and try to grab one more thing. Dude, no! Stop it, man! That thing is just undodgeable, that move. Hello. Yes, take this, and take that, and that. Haha, you too. Who else wants an ice axe to the face? You want one? Oh, you want one, I can tell. That look on your face. Oh, and you don't want to be left out of the party? There you go. Take that. Haha. Okay, so yeah, I see that the thing that would stop us from doing that, oh, excuse me, is the fact, you'll notice, look at the size of these icons right here. All of these items here have got a very specific shape and size of icon that fits onto this tile. And then if you look here, the icons representing the stuff that's in the location, that's a very different size and shape of icon. Those icons are incompatible with each other. They can't be in the same places. And so if we were to try to show remaining items, we would not be able to show individual item icons there. For one thing, like, the number of items you might leave behind is so large, they wouldn't even fit. But I could see, if we came up with a generic icon, which was just like, it just represents all the stuff that's not a resource, I could see us making an icon that's this size and shape and putting it up there to say, hey, there's some other stuff here. We could not show you individual icons for everything, but we could maybe show you one icon representing the idea of there being stuff that is not resources left behind. And I think the main problem there would just be, what is that icon? Because we don't really have a lot of room there for, like, text, you know, especially if there could be multiple icons there. Coming up with an icon that reads to every player as, this means generic items are in here. That would probably be the challenge. It seems like we might have to just, I don't know. We might have to maybe come up with an icon, like maybe we would have to add a text box there so we could put text that says miscellaneous items, you know, are present or something like that to explain it. Because we don't really have an icon that we've established elsewhere in the game that means generic inventory items. I am off the, no, wait, no, I'm on the right path. Okay, I thought I was taking a wrong turn here because that's what I do. But yeah, so there's, so those are the problems we'd have to deal with. Oh, okay. So the Coalition was actually asking for something very different, and I only now understand it. Okay, so Coalition was not talking about those remaining resource icons. He was talking about the icon on the map that goes from white to black when you've searched all the containers. He was saying that if there are remaining resources at a place, like if we would normally have put a remaining resources thing, or if there are items left, which I guess would not show that, having some different display there that's not just the same black icon. That means, hey, you left something behind here. That's reasonable. Now that I understand what you're asking for. Okay, so I had suspected that I was misunderstanding something because it seemed like that you were asking for something that we were already doing. So, or that we couldn't reasonably do. But yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense, Coalición. I probably, whenever I'm not driving, I will write that one down. Because that does make sense. So for me, like, that's one of those cases where it's like, for me, I don't leave something behind if I care about it. You know, like when I leave something behind, I'm deciding I don't care about it and I'll never remember it again. And it's okay. And so because of that, I just don't really think of that. I don't, that's not the space where I'm doing personal problem solving in my head. And so it's good to hear from folks who, you know, do leave a lot of stuff behind, do want to be reminded of all of it so they can come back and not miss out on anything. That, you know, that's a feature that you would really appreciate. So I'm going to try not to attract those ferals, if they're even still around. I assume they must be. Oh, he's coming. Oh, you know, wait, they're not going to be around. because there's a Haven device. If they got close, Haven device would have fried them. Yep. I think I just heard the Haven device fry that Juggernaut. Alright, so does that mean we don't have those ferals anymore? Because I do have that remaining bounty.
Did everyone behave while I was gone?
Make some more storage space before we start losing stuff. I'm right here.
That's funny. So somebody said, we need to get more storage space. And somebody else says, I'm right here. Like, it almost feels like she was the one who like, decided not to have storage space. It's like, hey, you're complaining about me while I'm listening to you. Was sort of how that came across to me. Okay, so if I do want to go feral hunting.
You know, those plague hearts aren't gonna shred themselves.
Shush. I'm gonna need... Do I have... I must have... There we go, crossbows. Crossbows. Yes, this is what I need. A repeating crossbow. And in addition to that repeating crossbow, I need to have some bolts. Bunch of bolts. All right, so we have, I think, had a good session here. We answered 3 really interesting questions, so I think this is probably an episode. But I'm kind of in the mood to go kill some ferals. So maybe I was planning on doing just 1 episode today, but maybe we'll do a second episode. Maybe I'm in that kind of mood. But let me catch up with the chat one more time. Oh, I was going to write down that note about from La Coalición. So yeah, go gray when you've left rucksacks behind. That'll remind me what we said. Okay, so let's catch up a little bit here. So GT230 says he's a little loot goblin, and he absolutely will come back for every little piece of loot that he leaves behind. Okay, yeah, so you're a little less nonchalant than I am. I think I actually am kind of a hoarder when it comes to things like this, generally. I think the fact that I worked on this game is what makes me more nonchalant about it. Okay, so Ranthcourt says if he's not confident that he can grab everything from the final searchable, he'll actually leave that searchable unsearched so that the building will stay white on the map, and so he'll remember to come back to get it. So basically, you're sort of working around the UX as it exists. But if we offered like sort of an intermediate state for those icons, you probably would open that last container, trusting that you'd be able to come back and find stuff later. Okay, so I think I've answered enough for now. So let's wrap up this episode with a subscribe button for YouTube people later on. But yeah, I'm going to make another episode right now. So that episode's going to go there when it's ready. You can click if you want to keep going. Or you can click other nonsense. That's going to be right here.